Okay, so this hand is not great. However, that turn 1 Pit-Skulk can actually start doing quite a bit of work because of the Rancor. So we're actually going to keep this here and see if we can get really aggressive. We're going to want one more forest over the course of this game. Okay, no more forests, pleased deck. So that we can play the Elephant Guide. If we can get an Elephant Guide off, we don't have to worry about any cannonades. Okay, so opponent with a basic swamp and snuff out. So that is a huge problem for us. The turn 1 snuff out here means that we have no more creatures. So, wow. We took a risk there on the Pit-Skulk, and did it ever not turn out? So we have the River Boa here. I probably want to hold it in hand so that we can play it with Forest up. That does mean that we risk Prohibit. They won't be able to Spellstutter Sprite it unless they play Island into whatever that fairy does that scries. So that is a possibility as well. We're mostly going to be looking to get lucky here. Okay, Evolving Wilds. So that means we do not have to worry about Spellstutter Sprite killing our River Boa. They have another Augur Bolas. So we're going to be able to put our River Boa down unmolested, hold up a forest so that we have regeneration, and they'll have to 2-spell to take the Boa off the board. Now this is a very difficult matchup. Does Snuff Out say cannot be regenerated? Oh, it does. Yep, you're right. Okay, because we got the River Boa, we would actually like one more forest deck. I know I was saying before I didn't need one more, but I've changed my mind. Deck, if you're listening, one more forest, please. Okay, opponent passes here. And they have Fall from Favor. Okay, so that's going to tap our creature. And yeah, that's a problem. Opponent becomes a Monarch. And River Boa does not untap. So they got around the regeneration there quite well. Managed to snag the Monarch from us. Oh, and we got the Vines of Vastwood off the top. Deck. Why you play me like that? Okay, we're going to play the Nettle Sentinel. And we're going to go ahead and put Rancor on it. And we'll have the Vines of Vastwood ready to go. If they try and like snuff it out or something. They'll probably have another removal spell here. Yep, Echoing Decay. Very removal heavy from the opponent. Makes sense when you're playing Fall from Favor. You're going to want to be able to eliminate all of the opponent's creatures to be able to hold on to that Monarch. But at this point, I can already feel the game slipping away. And opponent didn't even need Cannonade. Okay, we'll play the Nest Invader. And then we'll put a Rancor onto our 2/2. And next turn we can Hunger the Howl Pack and try and get this Fall from Favor off the River Boa. Okay, Fairy Seer. They're probably looking to utilize a Spellstutter Sprite. But the longer they hold on to that Monarch, the further the advantage bar is going to go into their favor. Okay, we'll put an Elephant Guide onto the Nest Invader here. Make it a 7/5. Okay, they have a Snuff Out again. It's a lot of Snuff Out, opponent. This is your third Snuff Out. We have no answer to that, so we're just going to go ahead and concede here. Even though the opponent ended up at 8 life, that was just too much for us to handle. I think that the Longbow and the Scattershot Archer is going to be quite good. Yeah. Could have hungered on token, made a 3/4. They chump block it and continue to hold the Monarch. We could have continued playing. Just didn't feel much value in it personally. Definitely like the Vines of Vastwood here. Ledgewalker for the hexproof seems nice. So what is bad? They're going to have quite a few removal spells to work around our tricks. So I don't mind taking out a couple of our tricks. Take out an Elephant Guide, Hunger, Rancor, and I guess one of the Vines. Okay, we have a 1 land hand. We're going to mull. We have a no land hand. Deck. We talked about this. Well, at least on the upside, we didn't glitch out in between games there. Okay, another 1 land hand. We're going to have to keep this one, though. 2 cards back. Good to go. Start out with either Vault Skirge or Nettle Sentinel. Nettle Sentinel is going to be doing better around their various 1/1s. Vault Skirge, they would just be able to play a Fairy Seer and get a trade. There it is, Fairy Seer. Okay, we get the forest off the top, almost like we always had it. So I think we just go ahead and play the Rancor here. Even though we miss on the untapping that way. We can untap the Nettle Sentinel next turn with the Ledgewalker. So we're already out of cards here. We have 1 card left in hand. It's the effect of the double mulligan, and they've got their swamp, so they're going to be able to start removing our creatures. Okay, Forest. Let's cast the Ledgewalker to untap the Sentinel. Okay, they have the Spellstutter Sprite. It does counter the Ledgewalker, but we still get to untap. And they'll have to throw both of their creatures under the bus here to kill the Sentinel. And then we can put the Rancor onto the Vault Skirge. So they're not going to be able to snuff out the Vault Skirge, but they have plenty of other removal spells and even creatures to block it. Okay, there's an Agony Warp. And we get the Vines of Vastwood a turn too late again. Okay, Augur of Bolas finds them preordained. They go ahead and cast it right away. They are tapped out, so we're hoping to draw a threat off the top. And we find another Vines of the Vastwood, so nothing to do but pass the turn. I mean, we did trim on these spells. Okay, do they have the ninja? No ninja. And we get forest, so we'll just pass back. Got some bad luck here for match number 1. That's okay. We'll bounce back for match number 2. Quirion Ranger, we can play that. Okay, we'll go ahead and put the forest back into play, put Rancor on the Quirion Ranger, and pass. Okay, they have the cast down for the Quirion Ranger. We probably should have waited to cast the Rancor on a turn where Vines of Vastwood would have been able to do damage. They have a Spell Stutter Sprite here. No, just a straight up counterspell. Okay, we're going to run out our hand here, saving our 1 creature here. But it feels pretty bad. And they have the snuff out too. Okay, so opponent has 1 card left in hand, going up to 2. We have no cards. Get Nettle Sentinel, that's something. Okay, opponent has Chainer's Edict, and they have enough mana to flash it back as well. So we are toasted. Opponent has us answered for days here. Okay, we're going to end this one. We have lands and spells. We'll keep this. This is a good hand. We'll start with Nettle Sentinel, and then we'll move on to Burning-Tree Emissary. New Blue Monarch is cool, but I didn't see much play of that card. No, we haven't seen it too much yet. People are still acquiring these cards and building around them. We'll see it quite a bit more in the next month, and however long it takes for WotC to start making bannings. But they decided to let us play with the new toys. So we're going to have to wait and see. Alright, so Wild Growth on Forest. This leads me to believe that we're playing against the mono-green land destruction deck that plays a bunch of big dudes. So let's get aggressive. If we can get a bunch of creatures onto the board right quick, we should be able to race them. The Burning-Tree Emissary is going to help us with that immeasurably here. Being able to put 4 power onto the board here, making it a grand total of 6 power on the board. So that's a 3-turn clock. Opponent doesn't know we also have Savage Swipe. Okay, so they don't need to see any more here. That was enough for them. As for what we can bring in here, Gleedul Sabotage would get the auras off their lands, and Gutshot would kill their Arbor Elf. Let's see here. What's bad? The Pit-Skulk is actually bad, because they're going to have creatures that are going to be as big and bigger than the creatures that I'm presenting. So I would rather have Ledgewalker or Vault Skirge be the creatures that I put my enchantments on if I have the choice. River Boa is not going to be that great as an attacker, however, it will be an excellent blocker. We could bring in Epic Confrontation as well to try and take out one of their big threats. I think that would be better than the third Gleedul Sabotage. Sabotage could be good against some of their dudes, but I think that we'd be better off focusing on playing creatures and turning them sideways. Don't know that we need Vines of Vastwood, actually. So maybe we can bring in some longbows so that we can, again, kill their Arbor Elves, and when they have a bunch of creatures on the board and we can no longer attack, we can use the longbow to do the final points of damage. Alright, so no lands, we mull. Oh my god. No lands, now 4 lands. This hand is terrible. It does have the Ledgewalker, though. Ledgewalker and Rancor could be quite strong, and having all those lands means that their land destruction plan isn't going to be super great. So maybe we just get rid of one of the forests here and really put our hopes on the Ledgewalker. Okay, we're really going to hope that we are going to get the chance to get to 2 mana on turn 2. But that is no way guaranteed. Oh, the Quirion Ranger. Well, that's super interesting. We're definitely playing that. And that could actually allow us to save whatever land they're trying to destroy. Jukawall, thank you for the follow. How you doing? How did you find us? Oh, look at that. Red on the Utopia Sprawl. Do you think that they would play Fiery Cannonade? They have the Bonder's Ornament here. These are some green-looking zombies. Thank you. Forgot about that. I played zombies for my first league. Let me fix that right away. Alright, so I've changed the title. It should change for you whenever. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, another forest off the top. Alright, cool. We'll be playing Modern again tomorrow. I think we'll be playing Death and Taxes, if you're interested. So we're just going to attack with Quirion Ranger here and play Ledgewalker. And hope that the Ledgewalker can get all the way. Yeah, you said you used to play Pauper as well? Played the... Oh, yeah. Gosh, Git Probe, Days. That was a good deck. Have you seen what Dimir Delver is looking like nowadays? Of course, most people are playing Dimir Faeries over Delver, but both are still valid. The deck has been going through quite a few changes. It is still very strong. Still one of the best decks in the format, with Tron being one of the other ones. Okay, so we're going to load up our Ledgewalker with Rancors. That's fair. There have been some very big changes going on just in the last couple days with the release of Commander Legends. Okay, here's the cannonade. And we're not going to be able to save our creatures with the vines. So the cannonade here is going to get us. We should have kept 2 mana open so that we could have saved them with the vines. We even thought about cannonade when we saw this on red. Yeah, Tron is still flicker based, just like Blind says, and it's still, I would say, the top deck in the format. Okay, nothing we can do here. Opponent played around the vines quite well. We did not play around the cannonade. Cannonade, an excellent answer to the Ledgewalker, which had hexproof. And now they're playing Naya's Disciple, which is going to gain them life equal to their Devotion to Green, 4. So they now have a 3/3. They have more life than us, but we have a couple more cards in hand than they do. Burning-Tree Emissary isn't very good here. We can like go ahead and throw a Rancor on it. Oh yeah, that was a cool time when Moto put some effort into Pauper and did that Grand Prix side event. That was fantastic. I was really happy about that. Okay, no blocks. We'll just take the 3. And we'll start attacking with our Burning Tree. Oh, Gleedul Sabotage is interesting. We can get rid of the Bonder's Ornament here. It was like half a year ago. I think that it was a little bit longer than that, right? Because like half a year ago, we were still looking at COVID. So it was probably more like a year and a half. Oh yeah, Affinity is great too. So I'm going to use the Gleedul Sabotage here. We don't have the ability to Conspire, but we're going to get rid of that Bonder's Ornament, so the opponent can't be drawing a card every turn. We still have access to Vines, and we can start attacking for 4 here. We are attacking for 1 more damage a turn than our opponent. They do have the advantage, though, of attacking first in these sets. Oh, yeah. Pauper Tortax. That deck is something else. Oh, this card is really cool. Llanowar Visionary. When you play this card in black, you have to lose a life and you don't get tap out of green. This card is bonkers. Okay, so they have 5 toughness here. The Vines of the Vastwood would be able to get through those people if they held them back, but it looks like they're just willing to go for trades here. Or rather, just like attack, attack, attack. So we're really hoping for another creature or an elephant guide or something. We got a Savage Swipe. Savage Swipe is not that great here. Because of the Rancor, it's not going to give our creature +2/+2. That would be, you know, I would be fine with getting rid of Tron lands and Pauper. I played Pauper when we had the what do you call those lands? The Locusts, I think they're called. Yeah, the Posts. I played Pauper in the Post era. You think Tron is bad? The Post decks were awful. Okay, here's the Annoyed Altasaur. Oh my god. Annoyed Altasaur cascades into Bonder's Ornament. Opponent, your deck is awesome. Yeah, we're just going to take the 3 here. Oh yeah, that's true, right? I guess foil oubliettes exist now as well with one of the newer printings. And the witches, the new art looks incredible. Okay, so we got a Gutshot, which doesn't play on this board. We're going to concede. Strike that, reverse it. Okay, so we have a 1-land hand, but it includes Quirion Ranger, so I'm willing to keep it. Hand does die pretty hard to Fiery Cannonade. Yeah, Wizards has a knack at making money. They really know how to do it. Okay, we get Forest off the top. So, I could play Ledgewalker, or I could play Nest Invader Vault Skirge, or I could play Vault Skirge Rancor. Have you ever tried the Cycle, Storm deck, and Pauper? I have not. But there's a lot of cycling for 1 cards that exist in Pauper, and I think there's a creature that does a damage to the opponent every time you cycle a card. Is that what the combo does? Okay, we're going to flood out the board here. And if opponent has cannonade, we're screwed. We actually probably could have attacked there. I don't think they would have blocked with Arbor Elf. Oh, yeah. Makes sense. So then you just take the creature that deals the 1 damage per cycle off the board, and the combo doesn't really get anywhere, right? Okay, here's a Disciple, so no cannonade this time. So we're going to do Savage Swipe Rancor here. If I Savage Swipe the Arbor Elf, they're going to be cut down on mana, so we're going to do that. And they're still going to have a hard time blocking the Nest Invader. So they might get in front of the Nest Invader here, but I thought it was more important to cut them off mana. Oh yeah, Reaping the Graves is great in Pauper. You can get quite a bit of advantage out of that. Okay, so we have the Vault Skirge running. We've already played a land this turn, so Quirion Ranger isn't going to let us untap a land for free. Okay, they have the cannonade. So we'll be able to play the Ledgewalker Rancor on our turn. And they'll need another cannonade to stop us. And if we get 1 more turn with no cannonade, then we can play Elephant Guide, and we'll be insulated. Okay, here's Bonder's Ornament. So it looks like we might just be able to squeeze through here. Okay, they are going to have so many mana next turn, though. Anyway, we're going to be attacking for 6. Unblockable. If we Savage Swipe here with the Ledgewalker would die. So we definitely don't want to do that this turn. We could do it next turn to kill one of their Arbor Elves, but we would not get the +2/+2. Savage Swipe is really looking at a creature's power when it is cast. So if that power is 2, it gives the creature +2/+2, but the fight happens regardless. Okay, here's another Disciple, so they're getting more life. I mean, might as well attack, right? You can't block. Okay, they disagree. Oh, well, of course. They can untap the forest and then draw a card with Bonder's Ornament. That makes way more sense. Might as well draw a card instead of doing 2 damage. I'm pretty sure I'm winning this race, so... Okay, we just get a forest in hand. We're going to hold that to kind of bluff a spell. In the meantime, we're going to go in for 6. It's only going to take us a few turns here to get in for lethal damage. But the opponent is drawing an extra card every turn. And they have some very, very big spells in their deck. So they could absolutely turn around and crush this game. But as long as they're only drawing cards, we're fine with that. What we're scared of is an opposing creature that can clock us. So if they get that big dork that cascades and cascades into another creature, then that could be the way that they take this game away from us. Vines of Vastwood, that's quite nice. Okay, so we attack here for 6, put them to 9, and then Vines of Vastwood makes it 10 next turn. So we should have it here. Okay, Llanowar Visionary. That's not something we're scared of. They're basically... Oh, I wanted to say they're basically tapped out, but they still have their 2 Arbor Elves, which actually make quite a bit of mana. So yeah, this is another 6 mana. Oh, Weather the Storm. Okay, that's going to change the math quite a bit. So that's going to gain them 9 life. Getting them at least 1 extra turn. 2 extra turns, probably. Very strong Weather the Storm from the opponent. We're going to be hoping for another aura off the top. Okay, we get Hunger of the Howl Pack. So we can Savage Swipe, kill the Disciple here, and then Hunger of the Howl Pack, and make our creature bigger. Okay, so now we're attacking for 9, which is still a 2-turn clock. And we've taken their biggest attacker off the board. So again, even through the Weather the Storm, we are presenting quite a bit of pressure. Okay, so they're drawing another card. They still have a ton of mana. Drawing another card. But they only have 2 cards left in hand at this point. They're starting to run out of mana. 1 card left in hand. So they can draw 1 more card with Bonder's Ornament and have 4 mana left. 5 mana left because of the Visionary. Okay, they draw a forest. That's pretty garbage, and we win the match. Definitely keep this hand. Burning-Tree Emissary on turn 2 is always good. And we have the choice between River Boa and Ledgewalker, depending on what we see from the opponent turn 1. Not that lucky if they lost the dice roll. There you go. Okay, so we're starting with a Quirion Ranger pass. Yeah, it's hard to fault that logic. Okay, here's a forest and a Llanowar Elf. Llanowar Elf means they're probably playing Elves. So Savage Swipe is going to be very strong here. Ledgewalker is also going to be something that they have trouble blocking. River Boa can become unblockable, but we're going to want to hold that in hand so that they don't see what we can that we can play it. We're going to go ahead and attack with Quirion Ranger. If they want to trade Llanowar Elves for it, we're game for that. Okay, we get a damage in for free. Nice. Let's play Burning-Tree and Ledgewalker. Okay, lead the Stampede on turn 2 with 5 cards in hand. I don't understand. What could your hand be that you want to lead on turn 2 when your hand is 5 cards strong? Like, wouldn't you want to build out the board first? Maybe present some blockers? Five lands, probably. I mean, I think that you would have to have a hand like that, but they kept on 7, didn't they? Yeah, they did. They kept on 7. They could have, like, some Hunt Masters and whatever in hand. But yeah, they're going to have to discard now. They discard Distant Melody. Okay, we get Vines of Vastwood. We could Savage Swipe the Llanowar Elf so that we can do maximum damage this turn. And then they wouldn't be able to put down 2 Priest of Titania. The problem is, if we Savage Swipe the Llanowar Elf, we're not going to have the Savage Swipe for the Priest of Titania. I'm going to present maximum aggression, I've decided. We're going to attack for maximum damage. Put the River Boa down. And then we can use the Vines of Vastwood to pump the Ledgewalker next turn. I mean, we're not going to want to do it next turn. We're going to want to do it on a Crux turn, where casting the Vines of Vastwood for 2 is going to win us the game. Okay, here's a Timberwatch Elf, one of the best cards they have. And that's also going to keep back a couple of my cards, except this game, deck loves me. Savage Swipe. Okay, so we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Vines of Vastwood makes 12, puts them to 1. So we can just leave them at 5 here and then kill them next turn. Ledgewalker plus Vines kills them. That secondary Savage Swipe off the top was so good. Okay, we'll attack all, make them sweat. Never had a chance. Okay. So we're going to want Gutshot, Epic Confrontation, and Longbow. And we're going to want to take out... Let's see here. The Pit-Skulks aren't going to be the best. We have better unblockable creatures. Pit-Skulk can be blocked by a couple of their creatures. The Vault Skirge, River Boa, and Ledgewalker are going to be our better unblockable creatures. Vines of Vastwood aren't going to be very good, actually. We could probably just take out the 4 vines and leave it at that. We're going to want to go very, very aggressive on the opponent here. And let's cross our fingers and hope that Moto doesn't crash. I find that traditionally this matchup is very difficult from the Stompy side. Okay, this hand is a keep for sure. We have the Longbow, which is going to be one of our best cards in the matchup. We have the Ledgewalker, which is unblockable. Vault Skirge, again, unblockable. So we're going to start out with Vault Skirge, so that we can make that Pit-Skulk a 2/2. Okay, so they have a much, much better start this time. Gonna hope for a Gutshot off the top. Oh, Burning-Tree Emissary ain't bad. Attack with Vault Skirge. And then next turn we can start picking things off with a Longbow. Probably aim for the Priest of Titania first. Oh, there's a Huntmaster, that's a problem. So they're going to be able to go extremely wide here. Oh, and they got a Quirion Ranger too to untap the Priest of Titania. What is the last card in their hand? Lead the Stampede. That is the way to play Elves. They got 3 cards off the lead, including the Timberwatch Elf. We are losing this game. Yeah, opponent, like I was saying, this matchup can be difficult. We got very lucky last time. And this is the kind of things that Elves should be doing. This is turn 3. Look what opponent has done for themselves on turn 3. Fantastic. Okay, we get River Boa. Not very exciting when they have Timberwatch Elf and a pair of Quirion Rangers, not to mention a slew of Elves. We're dead. There's no doubt. There's nothing we can do here. I'm fine with the way I sideboarded, though. None of the cards in my sideboard here would have made any difference. If we had got a Gutshot a little bit earlier, that would have been fine. We're just going to go ahead and submit again. Okay, we got the bug again. Nettle Sentinel, Gutshot, Hunger, Rancor. This hand could be incredible. We'll keep. Imagine what could happen for us on turn 2. Just think about it for a minute. Oh, they got the Nettle Sentinel instead. Too bad. Alright, so let's see here. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it to have Weather the Storm for when the Elves' opponent does exactly that to gain life, however much life? Okay, so I would say it's probably about a 2. The reason is the Weather the Storm is going to be one large chunk of life at one time, and Elves is going to be able to do repeated sources of extremely large amounts of damage. So it's less about how much life you can gain and more about clearing the board. If you could gain life repeatedly in the same way that Elves does, then that's going to counteract the amount of damage that Elves can do, and then that's another story. No, it's all good, man. This is how we learn. Let's see what we draw off the top. Another forest. Okay, so I don't really want to waste a Hunger of the Howl pack here. We're just going to pass. And we'll wait until we can kill one of their creatures with our Gutshot. And then we'll move in. Yeah, we'll take 2. Okay, Elvish Vanguard. That's a card we can kill with Gutshot, and we will. We might as well do it now. Then we'll have our mana untapped. So the problem with this is that the Nettle Sentinel doesn't untap on its own during our untap step. So sure, we've got this amazing 8/8 creature, but we need a way to keep untapping it. So we're going to put Rancor on it, and then next turn we'll put Elephant Guide on it, and that untaps it. Alright, let's just attack with this 10/8 and pass the turn. Turn 3, 10/8 Trample. So you remember what the opponent was doing last time on their turn 3? So we're on turn 3 again. They got another opportunity. The big difference, though, is that the Priest of Titania is come into play and it's not ready to go. So we're going to play the Burning-Tree Emissary first, just because we can. Then we'll put the Elephant Guide onto the Nettle Sentinel and attack. They have to... I think they're just dead. Yeah, this should kill them. Even if they block, they should still die. They do have 1 mana untapped here. They could potentially have a trick. Ah, Moment's Peace. Okay. That works. I thought we had him. Opponent is playing Moment's Peace. So that means that they're going to be able to survive for another turn. And that means they'll also be able to utilize their Priest of Titania to gain quite a bit of mana. So we're going to have to keep playing here. You know, I really struggle to find my inner peace when my opponent is playing Moment's Peace. That card frustrates me almost as much as Stonehorn Dignitary. Stonehorn has got to be my least favorite card in all of Pauper. Okay, so it looks like... Are they going in for a block here, or are they going to play some more Elves? Because you don't have the mana for Moment's Peace open right now. Unless you have another Moment's Peace in hand. That would make sense. They probably have another Moment's Peace in hand. And it does make quite a bit of sense for Elves to be playing Moment's Peace. It can buy the opponent... You need to top deck a green spell too. Yep. Yeah, that's true, because the Nettle Sentinel is tapped. So if I just get a forest off the top here, then Nettle Sentinel is not going to be doing anything. And that was the risk of suiting up the Nettle Sentinel. I wanted to get going nice and early, but it could bite us in the butt. Alright, let's see what we draw here. Need something good. We get Epic Confrontation. Okay, we're still playing. We can confront the, what? The Huntmaster? Get it off the board? Or do we get the they have 2 priests, no reason to get that off the board. We have more than enough damage to kill them. And they don't have mana for Moment's Peace. I'm just doing a little bit of math here to find out if I can kill the Huntmaster, just in case. Because I'm going to attack with a Burning-Tree Emissary as well. So it'll be 14 minus 4 is 10. So it should work fine. Sorry that took a little while. I was just doing a little bit of math. Don't know what opponent has in hand for 1 mana. Really think they should have just kept Moment's Peace up this turn. Quite the risk from the opponent there. They could have just played the Huntmaster, held up Moment's Peace, and then gone off on their turn 5. Yeah, opponent's a little bit salty. Just getting a little bit of a warning here that Magic Online is going to be taken offline in 4 hours. I think we'll be fine. I don't suppose anyone here has seen that classic Magic video of some angry guy just getting progressively more frustrated as his opponent tries to figure out, you know, like how they're going to play their cards, and the guy's like, "Oh, but you have me dead. Just do this. You have me dead." Well, no, I got to figure out that I make my plays right, and he ends up like flipping the table. Okay, match is over. Opponents had enough. If we had a Quirion Ranger, we could keep this. But this has to be a mulligan. One land hand. I mean, we have 2 Nettle Sentinels. If we drew land off the top, we would be fine. But if we didn't, oh man, I'm going to mull. Okay, here we go. This is much better. We keep this, throw 1 Nettle Sentinel away. Why do we like Nettle Sentinel? It's a 2/2 for 1. It's almost like Goblin Guide. I mean, it does untap sometimes. Not every time, but you know. It untapped when it was important. Okay, so we get Rancor here. We could Savage Swipe the Nettle Sentinel, put Rancor on Nettle Sentinel, and start swinging. Or we could go wide and wait for our Savage Swipe on another turn. We'll just go ahead and attack with Nettle Sentinel for 2, see if they trade, and then we'll go wide. Leverage the crap out of Rancor. You got it. That Rancor, getting value. They kill the creature, Rancor comes right back to hand. Who allowed us to play uncommons in Pauper? It's ridiculous. Okay, this is where we get to see if they're playing Stompy or Elves. Savage Swipe, okay, so they are playing Stompy. They decided to get rid of our Nettle Sentinel of all things. Don't know why you wouldn't hit one of the other 2/2s. Okay, do they have, what's name? Hunger the Howl pack here, yeah. So they get to make just a huge Nettle Sentinel to attack with. And it's going to be too big to kill with the Savage Swipe. Vampire Nighthawk. Sarah Angel will uncommon at the same time as Rancor. Yep. So we saw Elves, now it's Stompy. And we are playing Stompy. Seems like no one has heard about Cannonade. Yeah, right? I mean, to be fair, we did beat the Cannonade deck. So we can't really do anything against this opposing Nettle Sentinel. It's too big. So, unfortunately, we just have to pass. Quirion Ranger. Okay, so that's going to Rancor and Swipe. So the problem with that is that if we put Rancor onto a creature, then the Savage Swipe won't give that creature +2/+2. So it would still just be a 4/2 dealing damage to that 5 power or 5 toughness dude. Yeah, it only gives the +2/+2 if the first target has a power of 2. The fight happens regardless, though. Okay, we get another forest. Deck isn't too interested in letting us win the game here. We could Savage Swipe to kill the Quirion Ranger, but we wouldn't be able to attack. Is it win games 2 and 3? Elephant Guide going on to the Nettle Sentinel. So we're just looking at Chump Town. Ah, right. Swing in. Oops. Block. I'm definitely using the dork. Using the dork to block. They have the Quirion Ranger here to untap the Nettle Sentinel to block whatever we attack with, and we're just drawing lands. We're not breaking through. Okay, we bring in the Longbow, the Gutshot, and the Epic Confrontation. We're bringing in all of our removal. Let's see here. Ledgewalker is quite good. The Pit-Skulk is not great. The Vines of Vastwood can come out. We're going to want to keep heavy on threats, and if we can use our removal spells to take out a couple of their threats, then we're going to be doing pretty well. That's true. Vines counters their spells. Vines could counter their Savage Swipe, which would be quite the coup. But I'm more interested in using all of my mana on my turn to put out my board, make it wider than the opponent's, make my creatures larger than the opponent's. Okay, we have a 2-land hand with Burning-Tree, Nest Invader, and Elephant Guide. We have Hunger the Howlpack with Nest Invader. So it's a little bit slow in the sense that we don't have something to present on turn 1. But we are on the play, so we won't be as severely punished for that. Okay, opponent has the Nettle Sentinel. Oh wow, already? Alright. Looks like we're going to be opening up a treasure chest today. Vault Skirge, where were you last turn? Alright, so our options are, we can play Nest Invader, or we can play Vault Skirge Rancor. Vault Skirge Rancor is very difficult for the opponent to deal with if they don't have the removal spell. I'm going to take a risk and try and get this Vault Skirge Rancor going. And if we can get the Elephant Guide onto it, forget about it. Yep, worst case, we trade 1 for 1. We would even gain a little bit of life with the Vault Skirge if they did something like, what's the name? Savage Swipe. Okay, we're just going to let the Nettle Sentinel through. Next turn, we're going to be a little bit more interested in blocking. But as long as we're gaining life, we're going to be ahead of this race. Land off the top, please. No dice. Okay, we're going to play Nest Invader here, so that we have the mana for Elephant Guide next turn. If something dies, we pump our dude. Yep. We could hold up mana for that, but then we don't get to Elephant Guide. I like the Nest Invader this turn as a blocker. Or we could even just play the Nettle Sentinel this turn and hold up Hunger the Hellpack, so that when we block, and we will, then we have the Godam for the Vault Skirge. All in on the flyer. Correct, handsome. So there are several cards we're hoping to avoid from the opponent. And that is one of them, Epic Confrontation. Okay, so we're going to get the Rancor back, and we're going to be able to hunger the Howl pack on one of our other creatures. We're also going to gain 3 life. You want to pump the Sentinel? I don't mind pumping the Emissary because of the... Well, then again, we have green spells to play every turn. So it's just a question of which one do we want to pump. Okay, they're hungering their own Nettle Sentinel. So if we hunger our Nettle Sentinel, then it's just going to be trades all around. Or we could hunger our Burning-Tree Emissary and try and just make it bigger with Elephant Guide. Well, they have 2 cards left in hand. Okay. And we get the forest. Okay, so now we can play the Elephant Guide onto the Burning-Tree Emissary and start attacking. Next turn we can play Rancor on it. But this turn they're going to be able to block it with their Eldrazi spawn if they like. No, they're just going to take the damage. It's a lot of damage. Yeah, next turn is the big turn. This turn is the big turn for the opponent. They decided to hold back when they could have blocked with Eldrazi spawn, prevented a lot of damage. Decided instead to hit us for 7 here. And they get a Pit-Skulk. Oh, and now they get to untap the Nettle Sentinel. Okay. They still have 2 mana and 2 cards up. We get Quirion Ranger. Not really something I'm looking for here, but we can just play out our hand. So we'll start out with Rancor and Burning-Tree Emissary. Oh, it looks like they kept Vines in. So they get to counter the Rancor. Yeah, how dare they? Still going to be very difficult for them to block this. Okay, they go to 1. And we'll play Nest Invader. And on the opponent's turn, we can untap our 8/8. We just couldn't do it this turn because of the Vines of the Vastwood. Okay, we don't have it yet, but if we draw a Gutshot off the top of the deck, we can feel like LSV. I'm hoping for that Gutshot off the top. Haven't been able to Gutshot an opponent for the win yet, so that would be fine. Not redeeming points for that. Yeah, you are. Just wait till the end of the game, okay? I'll have to remember to switch the screens so that you can see everything. Normally I have it set it up so it's only showing the league. Oh, an elephant guide on the Nettle Sentinel. Okay. So they have something nice and thick to block our emissary. Let's see what we get off the top. Forest, deck. I don't think we attack here. I think we just do nothing. Yeah, hold it. Huddle. Huddle. Okay, opponent is attacking. We're going to go ahead and block with our Eldrazi spawn. Put a stop on their combat and tap mana. I'm going to tap mana right now. Oh, I forgot the untap. That's okay. Still got the 1 mana for Vines of Vastwood. It's fine. Hunger of the Howl Pack. Unfortunate that we got rid of our Eldrazi spawn already. We're going to pass here. And then when we chump the Nettle Sentinel on the opponent's turn, we're going to be able to hunger and make our Burning-Tree Emissary that much larger. We could also block the Nettle Sentinel with our Burning-Tree Emissary and hunger the Howl Pack, but I think that's too risky. Come on, Gutshot. Hey, hunger the Howl Pack. That's the question, right? We attack with Burning-Tree Emissary. They just chump with something. I don't know how we're supposed to get through this. I mean, besides Bow or Gutshot. Trample would be really nice. Rancor off the top, please. There are a lot of cards we could draw. But I don't really feel like attacking with my 11/11, them just blocking it with Eldrazi spawn, and then coming in with all their critters. Savage Swipe to kill our Nest Invader. Okay, we're almost out of this. We still have our giant Burning-Tree Emissary, but that's it. Okay, they're going to attack with everything. We're going to block their big dude and take 8 damage. Alright, Monkey Paw. Do your thing. Give us a Gutshot off the top of the deck. Oh, there's probably Vines here. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's Exacxes. Oh, they're putting the Vines on the Nettle Sentinel. They could have killed us. They literally had us dead. And they're putting the Vines on this Nettle Sentinel instead of this one. We're going to 4 life here. Yeah, we're going to get the hunger up. Our creature is still bigger than yours. But we're still quite close to death regardless. Opponent has 3 blockers here, so we need Trample or a way to deal 1 damage. Okay, here we go. Top deck. Let's go. Savage Swipe. That doesn't do it. They have too many blockers here. And we kill 1 creature. We attack in, we kill another creature. And then they have 4 left to go. Actually 6, because they'll just block with Eldrazi spawn. So we needed Trample, and deck did not deliver. Okay, so we have 2 lands. Quirion Ranger, Nest Invader, Rancor. We're good. We're up against Devil. You sell yours on GoatBots. Okay, cool. I usually use Booster City on the trade page. Alright, let's start with the Quirion Ranger. We'll do our best Elves impression. Better watch out, opponent. We're going to play Priest of Titania next turn. Okay, opponent's playing Lightning Bolt. They're not playing around. They know the power of Quirion Ranger. If we had a 1-land hand, we would be crying. Okay, Vault Skirge is excellent against Burn. We're going to play Nest Invader. And then we'll go ahead and use the Eldrazi spawn right away and play Vault Skirge. That might have been wrong. We probably should have kept Vines of Vastwood up. But it turns out that we're playing against a totally different deck from what I expected. So what we're going to do here, we're just going to put Rancor on the Scourge. And we're going to hold up Vines. And we're going to clock the opponent here. So opponent is playing, I believe, the new hotness, which is Jeskai. The Jeskai deck got quite a few nice additions, one of them being the cannonade. So they could just go ahead and cannonade here. We'll have Vines of Vastwood to deal with that. We only get to save 1 creature if they do that, but that's fine. And we're not going to play another Vault Skirge into whatever they got going. They could easily cannonade next turn, so no reason to throw another creature under the bus. The clock we have going right now is going to kill the opponent in 2 turns anyway. Okay, here's a Mole Drifter, and it's evoked. So if they try and ephemerate it, we're going to use our Vines of Vastwood to counter their spell. Ooh, it feels good to counter opponent's spells for green mana. It's almost like we're playing Veil. Okay, just a forest off the top. Would have been nice if we had like a Rancor or something. We could have just won the game here. As is, we have 9 damage presenting, which is not 10. So we're going to hold the Vines of Vastwood in our hand and wait. We're going to practice patience here. Oh no, Stonehorn Dignitary. That is my least favorite magic card in Pauper. Okay, so we're not attacking. Okay, we get Nettle Sentinel. Let's see here. I'm a little bit leery about playing too many cards out onto the board because they could cannonade. Oh, another Stonehorn Dignitary. Give me a break. And now if they have, what's the name? Ghostly Flicker, then Vines of Vastwood isn't going to be even enough. So we're just waiting around here, sitting on our heels. Just waiting to see what the opponent is going to do next. They're going to be able to buy quite a bit of time if they have Ghostly Flicker. Oh, no, that's a Seagate Oracle. Opponent had me very worried when they tapped 3 mana. But they still got a bunch of play here. Is this a Ghostly Flicker? Or is this a cannonade? This is another Stonehorn Dignitary. Who plays 3 Dignitaries in the main? Come on. Alright, no combat. Burning-Tree Emissary, why not? Join the party. No combat. Okay, here's a Muldrifter. So that will block the Vault Skirge. But they only have 2 mana open. Probably like Prohibit or something. So we won't really be able to Vines of Vastwood. But we do have combat this turn. Oh, River Boa. River Boa is a great card. That's unblockable. Let's start with the River Boa, so that if they counter River Boa, then we can win with Vines of Vastwood. No, they let the River Boa through. Okay. So I think we attack with Vault Skirge, make them block with Muldrifter, and then we can put the Rancor onto the River Boa. Well, the problem with pumping is if they have anything in their 3 cards, I want to hold the Vines of Vastwood so that I can save something. Okay, they're not going for any block at all. They're confident. So I really don't want to play the Vines of Vastwood because I think they have something in order to respond. Counterspell, Prohibit, so yeah, that's my reasoning. And if they do have something, what I really want to do is just keep that River Boa around for another turn, and if we can Vines of Vastwood when they try and ephemerate a Stonehorn Dignitary, I think that's going to be better. I don't think that it's worthwhile to risk the Vines of Vastwood this turn. But might absolutely. They are at 2 after this, exactly. So now the River Boa is unblockable and lethal. Okay, Archaeomancer. So they're going to get back Ephemerate with that. They're going to Ephemerate their Stonehorn Dignitary. And now we have to cast the Vines of Vastwood. Unfortunately, that does mean that if they have the counterspell, that they're going to keep the Ephemerate. And they did have it. So no combat this turn, no combat next turn. No combat ever again, basically, because of the Archaeomancer. That's true, we do have a big life total, but opponent would be able to potentially mill us out, depending on the composition of their deck. I don't know if they're going to try and win with damage. They might. They'd be able to constantly ephemerate their Muldrifters. And they just outvalue us from this point. So we got very close, but this is the reason why we bring in the bow in future matchups, or in future games. It looks like a pretty hard lock at this point. So what's going to happen is they ephemerate Archaeomancer when the Ephemerate comes back. Yeah, they can stop us from ever attacking again. They ephemerate the Archaeomancer, and then they ephemerate the Dignitary. And they can just do this over and over and over and over again. So there's nothing we can do. We can never attack again. Okay, so we want the Longbow. We could bring in Relic to toy with their graveyard, but I'm more interested in getting some damage done. If we have room left over, we'll bring in the Relic. So Vault Skirge is okay. Pit-Skulk is much better. We're going to want to keep the Vines. Savage Swipe is good. Rancor is good. Hunger the Howl Pack is a so-so card in this matchup. River Boa is amazing. Ledgewalker's not that great. So we want to bring in some relics if we can spare the space. Take out the other Hungers. And we'll take out... Take out one of the Ledgewalkers, I think. Just because the Vault Skirge can be cast on one. Okay, so match 5. Here we go. Hey, it worked. First try. Okay, so we have a 1-land hand. It has Pit-Skulk. It has Burning-Tree. If we don't get to the second land, we're in a ton of trouble. But if we do get to our second land, we're golden. If we had Quirion Ranger, we would keep this hand, but it's so risky to keep. Okay, we have a 2-land hand this time. We'll keep this. We'll put back one of the Nettle Sentinels. We'll keep Nettle Sentinel, Pit-Skulk, Rancor, Relic. This is a good hand. Definitely glad we mulliganed to this. Okay, they got their Thriving Isle on red. Ready to lightning bolt our dudes. We're going to put Rancor on Nettle Sentinel, get in for 4 damage right away, and then we'll play the Pit-Skulk to untap the Sentinel and get a 2/2, which is nearly unblockable. So this is the start that we like to see. We're going to have to hope to avoid Lightning Bolt and Abrade. Okay, Quirion Ranger. That'll be nice. Let's start with the attack. Okay, they're just taking damage. We'll play Quirion Ranger now. And we're going to untap our Pit-Skulk, which gives us an extra land drop here, so we can play Nest Invader. Let's go wide. The real problem here is when our opponent casts Cannonade. But I think they would have done it. I don't think they would have cast Abrade here if they had Cannonade in hand. So we should be safe from that. Let's go ahead and put the Relic of Progenitus into play. And we've still got a good board here. We're presenting 5 damage. 7 with the Rancor. No more graveyard shenanigans, opponent. Okay, Seagate Oracle, that's not very scary. We can put the Rancor onto the... what? I think onto the Nest Invader. And we'll just attack for 6. Oh, Vines of Vastwood. Okay, does that change anything? So that's... yeah, that is almost lethal. So that's 8, 9, 10. So they have to block Nest Invader here. If they block Quirion Ranger, we kill them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, GG, opponent. Oh, they're having a little think. Why would they attack with Quirion Ranger, they're thinking. Better block. Okay, we'll just keep the Vines of Vastwood up if that's their block. Because this would be 3, 4, 8, put them to 2. So yeah, we're fine with this. We'll just go ahead and use the Relic now. You don't hear me drinking? There it is. I just got the message now. I don't know, like, thinking about that, do you really want to listen to somebody drinking? Ah, gulp, 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 gulp. Yeah, don't spread that around. Don't need people finding out that I'm an actual living human being. Alright, I think we're pretty fine with how we sideboarded here. We're going to submit again. So we are on the draw here, which is a pretty big deal for the opponent. It's going to make it quite a bit more difficult. Beep boop, robot mode engaged. Loading misplay.exe. Reading the punt file. Okay, what we got? Okay, this hand is fine. Probably start with the Longbow and then go Burning-Tree Nest Invader so we can get our Pit-Skulk up to a 2/2. See what we draw. If we get a Nettle Sentinel off the top, that would be perfect. Just another forest. Okay. So we have to decide if we want to play a 1/1 Pit-Skulk or a Longbow. 1/1 Pit-Skulk is quite bad. It can be blocked. 2/2 Pit-Skulk rarely gets blocked in this matchup. So let's just play the Longbow. We'll leave it on the field here for the long game and pass back. They could have Prohibit here or actual Counterspell. We're going to hope that they don't. Oh, right. Our spell resolved. Let's go ahead and play another spell. So they could absolutely just be holding back on Cannonade as well. Chuckling to themselves as we play out our hand, and they're about to get a 2-for-1. Nope, they got the Abrade instead. So much prefer to see Abrade to Cannonade. Okay, Thriving Isle on white, so they've got all their colors now. Ah, you know, I forgot. I should probably tell them not to play the Dignitary, though. Alright, let's start with an attack, see if we can get some damage in. Very nice. Okay. Let's play Nest Invader. I'm just wondering if we want to keep up Vines of Vastwood here. We can, so, like, why not, I guess? And then next turn we can put the Longbow onto the Eldrazi spawn and start doing damage that way as well as attacking with our creatures. Unless, of course, they play that damn Rhino. No Rhino! Okay. That's good news. We could even get that off the board if they block with it. And we get Relic off the top. Okay. We got a game. Hold the spawn back. Okay, they are going for a block. We're going to aim to take that Oracle off the board. Oh, they have a Lightning Bolt. And they're going to Lightning Bolt our Eldrazi spawn. How about that? Okay, let's make a mana. Okay, with that mana, we'll make Relic of Progenitus. And start working on their graveyard. Not a bad turn. And we get to hold up Vines of Vastwood. That could have turned out a lot worse. Alright, what else you got, opponent? Still got a bunch of lands. Got a bunch of cards in hand. They're 5 compared to our 1. All of our cards are on the table. Opponent knows exactly what we're up to. Love that they aimed that lightning bolt at our Eldrazi spawn instead of the Pit-Skulk. That was pretty great for us. Another forest. Blah. Alright, so we're just going to keep attacking for now. No reason to use the longbow until we have to. Forest let you use your gear. Yep, that's why I'm going to play it. So we're at 5 forests now. When we get to our 6th forest, we'll be able to use the longbow twice. Okay, this could be an abrade. But what would they target with the abrade? They're getting rid of the Relic of Progenitus. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and activate it then. We'll draw a card. Get a Vault Skirge. The Pinganing. They have Ephemerate for the Seagate Oracle, so we can Vines of Vastwood that. The question is, do we want to? Like, it's not a very good Ephemerate, but they're going to get the Ephemerate back, is the problem. So they're going to be able to do it twice. I think it's worth countering the Ephemerate so they don't get 2 sleight of hands. Does this fizzle ETB and spell? It fizzles the spell, which means there is no ETB. So Ephemerate just goes to the graveyard now. No rebound, correct. And if you fizzle an Ephemerate on the rebound, then the spell does not go to the graveyard. Okay, another forest. So we do have enough for double equip on the longbow now. I think that it's still better for us to just be attacking. We're going to get the same amount of damage through, and then we can play Vault Skirge. And we can put the longbow on the Scourge with the mana we have. Handsome and I, we got the same idea, the same plan. Two handsome men with 2 handsome ideas. When those ideas align, must be good. Okay. Let's put the bow on the bat. What do you have to say about that? They're going to evolve their wilds, get a tapped land. Plains. Nice plains, though. Okay, they have the Ephemerate. So they're going to be able to do some magic here. With their Seagate Oracle, they are going to get a pair of Sleight of Hands. Oh, and they got the Lightning Bolt. Okay, so Lightning Bolt's going after Vault Skirge, so that we don't get the longbow on it. But again, that's a Lightning Bolt that did not go after Pit-Skulk. Yeah, Pit-Skulk is one of our most important cards in this matchup. A 2/2 for 1 that is difficult to block. The real trick is that you really don't want to play it on turn 1, which is a problem. But we have other creatures we can play on turn 1 in the Vault Skirge, Nettle Sentinel, Quirion Ranger. The deck used to play Young Wolf back in the day. No Owls. Oh, wow. Swirling Sandstorm. Okay. Why bother playing Cannonade when you can just do 5? Oh, yeah. Yep. Hooting Mandrills is definitely playable. But take a look at our graveyard here. And imagine we only had 2 lands or 3, because that's how many we usually have. It would be very, very difficult for us to get the 4/4 Delve Ape into play. Another forest off the top. Good game, good game. So the green creature deck deals with a red sweeper, but it wasn't the Cannonade. They paid the 1 extra mana and dealt 5. Tap the creature taps. It gives the ability to the creature. So the creature is summoning sick, we cannot use it. And opponent is at quite a few cards here. They're going to have to put some back, but still they have 4 to our 0. I think that something is very wrong here, and that is that we have more lands in play than our opponent. We shouldn't have more lands in play than our control opponent. Okay, Quirion Ranger is pretty cool. Quirion Ranger works very well with a longbow. Let's go ahead and equip it. What else are we going to do with our mana? Can pop the land back. Yep. Lightning Bolt on Quirion Ranger. Okay. Ooh, that was loud. Oh man, Mull Drifter. Now they get to draw more cards. Alright, Nettle Sentinel, let's go. I choose you. Suit up. Nettle Sentinel, another amazing card to carry a bow. Oh, a Chaomancer, so that's going to get back Lightning Bolt, kill our Nettle Sentinel. Or, actually, sorry. Yeah, it gets back Ephemerate first. Then you Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Then a Chaomancer gets back Lightning Bolt. Kill Nettle Sentinel. So next turn, it can Ephemerate again. And just go for super value. And we're pretty much out of the game at this point. Opponent has turned the corner. It's official. Alright, we're going to concede here. Opponent has a Chaomancer with Ephemerate, and they have plenty of removal spells. So they're going to be able to cast a removal spell every single turn. And we're not going to be able to keep up with that. Okay.